Nathan, 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 NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John will be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, family. I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning. Please take a second to share today's show so we can get things kicked off. It's a beautiful Tuesday, December the 7th. Wow, it feels like I was just saying Thanksgiving. I mean, I guess that literally was just a week and a half ago. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Now, of course, I was not with you yesterday. I had to step away for some family emergency type of deals, but I'm back with you. Everything is good. Everybody is well. Good morning to you. And I appreciate you plugging into the show today. On today's show, I want to talk about the white family. The white family. I want to talk about the crisis in the white family this morning. This is our duty for us to look after our brothers and sisters, even if they come from, a different stage of melanin, so to speak. Just an observation. I don't have to be right, but something is up. Something is up. The one photograph you don't see up there is a photograph of Kyle Rittenhouse, whose mother dropped him off with a weapon so he could protect property in a city and state that he was foreign to, wasn't even from there. What the hell is going on? You got the case of the Oxford High School shooting where the parents appeared to be complicit on some levels. What is going on? Top right there, you've got a Representative Massey, I believe from Kentucky. And he is the man sitting down to your left with the burgundy long sleeve shirt on. I'm not even sure what kind of weapon that is. He actually tweeted that from his actual Twitter account within the last few days, and it's caused a bit of a stir. Because people were like, look, here you are. Look, I guess I get it. You like your guns. You're a pro-gun family. Who isn't? Why are you, a member of Congress, posting this just a few days after there was a deadly shooting at a high school? People are saying it's insensitive. What is going on? See that woman right up there in the very best, that's the background image. She actually was arrested because she drove her car through Black Lives Matter protesters. And get this, in her defense, she's claiming that she was the victim. What is going on? Bottom right, that white female there, she is a former police officer. And as we speak, a jury is being pulled together in her trial because she mistakenly shot an unarmed black man. She believed, at least this appears to be what her defense will be. It appears that her defense will be that she thought she was pulling out her taser, but in fact, she was pulling out her firearm. Shot this man, he died. And basically she said, I'm sorry. What is going on? What is all this? Is this fear? What is this? I'll tell you one thing it is. It's a reminder that we are not in a post-racial America. Whoever said that ish back when Obama was in office, we need to find them right now. They need to explain themselves. They could have not have been more wrong. Remember, that was the big talk when Obama was in office. Post-racial America. Post-racial America. Oh, we don't see color no more because we elected the first non-white man. Now we're in a post-racial America, but that was a long time ago, and ish didn't change. Things have changed. We learned real quick just how not in a post-racial America was when Obama got in office. Remember all the images? People was comparing him and his wife to monkeys and animals, and I mean, all of the most sophomoric, juvenile, low-hanging fruit, racist garbage that you can imagine. All that stuff happened in our lifetime. When Obama was in office. Remember how they went after Michelle? All she wanted kids to do was to work out and drink clean water. That's it. That was her big thing. Her big thing was exercise, eat fruits and vegetables, and drink water. And she still got hated on. Like, who could ever have a problem with that? Hey, listen, America, I just want you to get motivated. I want you to live your best lives, exercise, eat fruits and berries and non-processed foods, and drink clean water. They came after her. When they weren't plagiarizing the Obama, stealing their ideas and stealing flows. Remember Melania at that Republican convention? I was actually in the house up in Cleveland when she basically stole damn near word for word everything that came out of Michelle Obama's mouth about 10 years previous to that. Remember that? Couldn't stand them. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. The Obamas. But everybody was talking about how he was in a post-racial America. Then Trump came in office with all his rhetoric. Trump came back in office, and all the good people out there who had learned to not speak on their racism and their feelings and their fear, because I think a lot of this is fear-based, and I want to talk about this morning. Ooh, boy, they had somebody that made them feel good about themselves again, Donald Trump. He was so unapologetically ignorant. He was so unapologetically ignorant that it made all these other ignoramuses feel good about themselves. Well, he's so smart as he is. Well, he can be the president. Well, damn it, I must be thinking correctly too. See a lot of fear. What is going on with the white family? Now, put it that way, and you know, if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you know I had these conversations from time to time just because we never had these conversations from time to time. We never talk about that. We love to overanalyze black folks. We love to overanalyze every detail of the black family. What's up with the mother? What's up with the father? What's up with the children? Why aren't the fathers there? What's going on? I mean, we love to analyze. We are so comfortable talking about being black in America. Remember when CNN, this goes back some time ago, they had this whole big series with Soledad O'Brien called Black in America. It was a bunch of BS. You didn't tell black folks nothing that we didn't already know. But you rarely hear and rarely ever hear a headline or hear a news report or read a headline that reads anything in terms of an analysis of the white family. But something's up. Giving guns to underage minors so they can go be what? Vigilantes during protest? That ain't right. Some of the comments, and again, maybe these were sarcastic comments. I mean, I don't know if it's fair if the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Crumbly, I don't know if that's fair or not, because it seems to me as if the school was complicit. If you're going to arrest the parents, you got to arrest somebody at the school. But, that could be a different conversation. I don't know. You tell me what you think. 513-873-7134. I read over the weekend that there are many high schools across the nation. I'm going to read some excerpts from the news report in which students are holding protests across the nation. Students are holding protests. What are they protesting? Well, in some cases, they're protesting racism inside the school. And what do I mean by racism? Well, from what I gather, there are students that are sick and tired of dealing with racial epithets and racially motivated, charged things being said to them by their white peers. And not enough is being done about it. And so in multiple high schools across the country, students are protesting the racial climate inside the school. We are not in a post-racial America. I don't know if we ever will be. I don't even know if that's possible, because race is so polarizing, stigmatizing, and traumatizing that I don't even think that it's possible. I certainly don't believe it's possible in our lifetime. I don't think it's possible. For race to not be an issue in America, there would have to be a threat to America that involves all of the races against somebody else. You're talking about like an ELE event, right? Extinction level event, or I don't know. I mean, if I dig deep into my sci-fi bag, let's say aliens attack Earth, and now humans must unite, right? Put down our petty racial differences to fight another opponent, something like that. I mean, barring something like, I don't see it, because we certainly are not living in those days and times right now. Not certainly. When I see images like that with Rhett Massey, I think, what are they so afraid of? Why are they so afraid? He lives probably in some pricey, ritzy, exclusive cul-de-sac neighborhood. What you got on damn guns for? Nobody's coming to your neighborhood, Rhett Massey. Why are you so damn afraid? And he got the biggest gun of all of them. I don't know if these are phallic symbols, right? We could get deep into that. Are these phallic symbols? What are they trying to tell us? Little man with a big gun in his hand, huh? Are we overcompensating? I don't know. But certainly when I see this, I'm thinking somebody's afraid. You live in a gated community. It's probably gentrified like a mofo. What you so afraid of? What kind of Christmas card is that? That's what I think, though. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to receive your thoughts. Let me put the cam on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Change it up a little bit. Good morning to you. Greg writes, defensiveness is an unfortunate part of the nature of the human race. If people do not divide over color, they divide over something else, right? Yeah, it's something about human beings, man. We like to stratify ourselves. We like that. We like it. Good morning to you. Damn, there's so many things to talk about. I wasn't with you yesterday, and so topics were just kind of piling up. It's the day after, so no Monday morning quarterbacking. But how about some Tuesday morning quarterbacking? Y'all down for that? Who dey? I read that somebody from the Los Angeles Chargers Twitter account has a sense of humor. What do I mean? Yeah, on Sunday after the game, someone from the NFL Chargers, who has control of their Twitter account, they tweeted something like, who they think gonna beat them Bengals after they splattered the Bengals. Let me say it again to my Bengal friends. To all my friends out there that are so heavily invested in the Bengals, enjoy the process. They're not there yet. If you're expecting Super Bowls, you're expecting too much. You might be expecting too much for even playoffs. Just enjoy the games. I know it was a lot of long faces yesterday in Cincinnati. Hold on one second. I'm not really liking the lighting we're working with right now. Hold on one second. All right. A little bit more on my face. Boo! Tell me that's not better. You know it is. Good morning to you. Anthony Rice, morning shops. Good morning to you. Can't trust the Bengals. Says Daryl. He can't trust nobody, man. Let alone the damn Bengals. Speaking of local sports franchises, have you heard the latest moves by FC Cincinnati? FC Cincinnati is making big moves. Making big moves. I'll tell you about it. That's a local story. You might be into it. Matter of fact, there's some really interesting things happening locally, including later today. Mayor-elect Avtab Purival is going to announce his committee chair assignment, who he's picking from city council, the influx of new council persons to be the committee chairpersons. This is interesting. You know what I'm saying? If you're into local politics, boom, we'll talk about it. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, I'll say it again. There's only one maxim. Open your mind before you open your mouth. Other than that, it's all good. It's all good. We can always agree to disagree, my friends. Good morning to you. How was your weekend? How was your Friday? Did you get out and do something on Friday? How was your Saturday? How was your Sunday? Hope you were doing well. Now, on Sunday, we did Straight Talk Live with Edna Howe, and her guest was Ken Lawson. He came back in to talk about some of these big cases that people have been talking about and has been getting lots of headlines. Kyle Rittenhouse, the case from the Oxford High School up in Michigan, and also the police officer who mistakenly shot somebody. And it's quite interesting to hear his perspective. So if you missed it, tap back in and check it out. There was no Melanin Insights podcast. Just to give you a heads up, you wonder, what did we miss the ladies? Did I miss the ladies? They did not stream on Sunday, but they'll be back. Good morning to you. What's up, Gail? Good morning, Gail. Hey. Glenn writes, OCD Nate, edit again. You can't tell the difference. Morning, Nate and the Choppers. I can definitely tell the difference. It's a dramatic difference. It's a dramatic difference, bro. I'm telling you. Trust me on that. Good morning, Tiffany. Let me go way back. Kamiki writes, great show with Ken Lawson. Great. I'm glad you liked it. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. When you share the show, it means everything. It means absolutely everything. Good morning to you. Hold on here. I'm getting Okay, cool. Good, great. Good morning to you. Thanks for tapping in. Hope you're doing well. So again, how was your weekend? I'll say it one more time, then we'll move on. How was your weekend? Hope you're doing well. Good to hear. Let's get it. Before we get too deep, let me say what's up to the Choppers. Oh! Sharp writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ray writes, good risings all. Good morning, everybody. I think I'll leave the chat up there a little bit this morning. That way, everybody, if you post anything, it'll be seen. I'm cool with that. Deborah writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Brandy writes, greetings. Regina writes, good morning, everyone. Blessings. Queen Maxine writes, great grand risings to all of the righteous seekers. Hell no, we're not in a post-racial world. No. Do you think it's possible that we'll get post-racial, we'll be in a post-racial America? World is even bigger before or in your lifetime? I don't see it. I'm sad because I wanted to go to the party. You know, whenever we get to a post-racial America, we're going to throw a big party. Big old party. That's what we do. We love to party. Or maybe not. Good morning to you. But what is going on? All of these headlines, the Karens and Darrens, what is going on with our extended family members from the human family? We all human. Many of us are all Americans. What's up with our fellow Americans? What is going on? And I think there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of, if you listen to right-wing radio, it's all fear-mongering. If you listen to most left-wing radio, it's all responding to right-wing's radio fear-mongering. You know what I'm saying? It's all a response to it. Fear-mongering. They do it every election year. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, vote for me because if you vote for the other person, my challenger, they're going to make you less safe. And Rep Massey from Kentucky, he took a lot of heat for that image of his family there. Do you see anything wrong with that? Like, I mean, not really, but I think it was the timing of it. Coming just a few days after the shooting, another deadly shooting at a high school in this country. I was on MSNBC over the weekend. They reported it was like the mid 20s, like 25, 26, 27th high school shooting. What's up? What's going on? What is going on? You got family members, like in the black community, you got black folks that won't even touch a gun. They don't even want to have no conversations about guns. In their own minds, they're debating as to whether they should even take their kids to the firing range. Meanwhile, in other parts of America, it's anything goes. You got parents dropping off their kids to go to protest, to be vigilantes as minors. As minors. What is up with our country? My country, Tizzity, what's going on? This seems like a desperate cry for help. What is up with the white family? If you look at the January 6th insurgency, I mean, let's just be racial for a little bit. Let's be real here. If you look at the January 6th insurgency, which was nothing more than a coup d'etat, right? An attempt to topple the government so they can remake it in their own image. And this happened during our watch, during our lifetime. But if you look at the racial makeup of that crowd, who did you see more of? Who did you see more of? What's up? There was a plot that the FBI uncovered and then they diffused it to kidnap the current governor of Michigan, who's a white female. They were going to kidnap her, put her on trial, and even perhaps execute her for crimes against the U.S. Constitution or crimes against their beer bellies or something. I don't know what the crime was, but this was the plot. The plot, as the FBI later uncovered, or maybe they uncovered it early on, and then the information was given to the press. The plot also included, by some elements of this sleeper cell or whatever. Caller, hold on 1 second. I'll bring you straight on. The plot also included the governor of Ohio. They wanted to kidnap him too. It wasn't black folks. So I'm trying to say, like, let's put all these pieces together and figure out what our fellow Americans are trying to tell us. What are they trying to tell us? What is he trying to tell us? Like, look at this right here. This is a U.S. rep, top right box right there. This was a Christmas tweet he put out. Like, in the tweet, I read it again several times this morning. He tweeted, and P.S. said to please bring ammo. So now he wants Santa Claus, who isn't real, to bring ammunition. I didn't know that's what Santa's job was. I thought Santa brought toys and ammunition. Okay. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just sitting here listening to you. I've been listening to Straight Talk Live ever since you was on Straight Talk Live back in the day. So I've been listening to you for a long time. So I just want to congratulate you on your upcomings, brother.
Thank you.
What we're seeing here is a combination of everything that's been going on since 1619, when the first black toe was brought over here in chains. It's always been around race. America's always been about race and drug running and drug smuggling, and all of this at the behest of the Caucasian community. But the black folks are the drug dealers and the movers and the shakers. I don't see how that narrative even exists, because if you look at the evidence, it's contrary to all of that. What we saw on January 6th was treason. And back when George Washington and them was running around clicking their heels, they would have all been hung. And they would have had everybody in the courtyard in a little townless square watching it happen. They purposely tried to overthrow the government in front of the whole world, and they're acting as though nothing's happened, there's nothing to see here, move along. And that seems what's been going on, the rhetoric of the GOP, as well as some Democrats. who are trying to just like overlook this. They had guillotines, they had rope, they had weapons. The former president, the head Cheeto, incited them to go do that. And they did it. He's still free. They're slowly but surely locking him up. But they're not getting any real time. They're not getting any real time. The Rittenhouse case, scot-free. This cat just got caught. They shut up the school up here in Michigan. They caught his parents. They left it. Their son that shut up the school. They got $4,000 trying to head out of town. Had they been black, they would have had the police on their door. They wouldn't have been able to move anywhere. So all this post-racial America because Obama got in the office, and that's supposed to be some, grandiose gesture. But we're really at the same spot we've always been here in America. There are two Americas. There's white America and there's black America. And the ones that are privileged have the power right now. And they're doing everything they can to, I don't know if they're trying to destroy the democracy or what they're trying to do, but they're creating chaos everywhere we look. And they're getting away with it right in front of our eyes. When Farrakhan and them was up there, if them Negroes would have started tripping, they'd have killed everybody. It would have been Apache missiles, bodies, blood everywhere. But they sat back and watched, and they're sitting back and watching this happen, and it seems to get amped up. These Caucasians get more amped up for weapons to be able to shoot indiscriminately, to be able to kill the others indiscriminately, and the law backs them. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Caller, what's your name?
Ebony.
Ebony. Great flows, Ebony. I appreciate your call this morning.
For sure, for sure.
Most def. That's Ebony checking in. Great flows. Great flows. We'll rack her twice. I detect no lies. Post-racial. And again, many of us knew that when people was running around here talking about Brian, that's your cousin. Psh, okay, I see that. It's all in the family, huh? I like it. I thought she was on point. Most def. But we knew when they were saying it was a post-racial America during Obama years. Ain't no damn post-racial America. Stop it. America electing Barack Obama was equivalent to, let's say you got I won't make that comparison because y'all might not follow me there, but I'm just saying. Somebody posted, and I plan on talking about this, but you got a Milford junior high student was arrested. Now, Milford is close to the Cincinnati area, in the Cincinnati area. I'm reading that a Milford junior high school student was arrested on Friday because this person had a kill list. And as I understand it, a kill list is a list of fellow students or maybe people that work in the building that you want to kill. I believe that that's not too uncommon, right? That's not necessarily uncommon when it comes to some of these school shootings. Right. The FBI investigators will go back. If there's a school shooting and people get killed, the FBI investigators will go back through the phone and go back to the room of the individual that committed the crime allegedly. And in some cases, they'll find the plans. And that's a very scary thing. Because, and again, what's up with the family? What's up with our white family members? What's going on with them? Something's up. Something ain't right. My question is it us? Are they doing all of this because of us? I mean, what the hell do we do now? Damn. What more can we do to make you feel good, boss? Is that because of us? Again, I'll say if you're just tuning in, we are not in a post-racial America. I just want to give some space to do an analysis to our white family members or of our white family members because somebody needs to. Something's not right. Something's up. They're trying to tell us something. Are we in a place to listen? Does anybody have their spider sense up? Your antenna are up this morning? I'm trying to receive the messages. What are you trying to say to us? Is it our fault? Is it black folks' fault? Is it black folks' fault? We've made our white family members feel uncomfortable out here. Not sure what you're doing exactly to make them feel uncomfortable. Stop making people feel uncomfortable. All right, there it is. Go out of your way to make our white family members comfortable. Make them feel better. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But I do know that if I lived in Milford, I'd be scared out of my, out of my shoes, man. That's the scariest thing ever for a parent, to think about your kid being like in an active shooter situation. Like I said, that's why we got to stay hard on the culture inside of these schools. That's why we got to push that the teachers and administrators are the best quality, because they create the cultures and the environments. And some of these folks, man, they get their hands on a weapon, they want to kill everybody. That's the scariest thing in the world. It is. I mean, we live in America where they sell bulletproof backpacks. Bulletproof backpacks. I went out to a firing range, and they sell them right there in the lobby of the firing range. And basically all it is not the backpack is bulletproof. It's actually like a piece of, like, I won't say it's metal, but just imagine it's a piece of metal, like a shield that you slide down inside the backpack, and it's bulletproof. So literally your kids could be doing like this with it. What the hell? Captain America, he had, what was that? Is it adamantium or was that vibranium? I think it was vibranium. We are living in the last days of good damn common sense. That's all it is. Look at this shit right here. What is up with our white family members? What would make these three men think they can get away with this? And we had a brother that called in. He first said this to my ear, but I felt like he was right. Remember Fanon Ruck when he called in? He was like, what would make them get? And then not only did they have the nerve, number one, this is fear on some levels, right? They're going to chase a man down who's committed no crime. The man on the left testified that all he wanted to do was just ask him some questions, but he wouldn't stop and listen to what he had to say. The nerve, the arrogance. And then, family, what you got to remember is that's not the end of the story. That's just a part of the story. The other part of the story is that it took a while for them to find a prosecutor that would actually take the case, because one of these, or a couple of these individuals, had a close connection with the prosecutor's office. Like, this ish actually has infected our levels of government. That is wild. That is wild. Going back to January 6th, this is being reported, but it's not really being focused on. Here's what we know about January 6th now. Now we have a better understanding as to why law enforcement was not properly yoked up. Now we understand why they didn't have a force of people out there, right? And maybe you haven't heard this information, but I'll share with you real quickly, and then we'll go straight to the phones. So on two fronts. Number one, the FBI had credible information that things were going to get violent on January 6th. But apparently there was divergent points of view within the FBI. Some believe they need to call a full court press and put a major show of force out there. But others, and these voices actually won, they thought, oh man, these good conservative loving, law-abiding citizen, police-loving folks, they would never do that. They would never do, literally. You can Google this stuff right now to confirm or deny what I'm saying for yourself. Do the work if you want to, go right ahead, but I'm telling you. And then also in the military. That's the reason why the military wasn't out there. They was yabba dabba doing it around, trying to figure out whether there was really a credible threat or they should take the threat seriously, which means they had sympathizers. What's scarier than the people that actually were bold enough to show up on January 6th on the steps of Congress and do what they did are all the people in influential positions that are sympathizers. They were too smart to go out there and show their face and show their you-know-what on national television. All right, that's what's even scarier. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Who I'm speaking with?
Excellent. This is Chris.
Hey, what up, Chris?
I brought you on vacation with me down here in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm from Cincinnati down here, and it's like 65 degrees right now. I hear it's 22 degrees back home. I'm sorry.
Had to throw that in there, huh?
Hey, I love the flows this morning because I was waiting for you to comment on the 3 men in Florida. I followed the case, listened to it the entire time, and I listened. You never commented on it. Y'all was always talking about the case up north, but that case in itself, and that the prosecutor who actually took that case on, I mean, when she was phenomenal, set him up perfect, described the crimes perfect in the closing, and got them all found guilty. It was a great case. But as you were saying before, the leading up to it, the father was the one. Well, the first prosecutor didn't arrest him because the father worked with her on her cases as a detective, finding how they do before the crimes and finding more information about the person who they get ready to prosecute. On top of that, it was just a simple fact. And if you go back and listen to the case, they just wanted to find. They knew who he was. They knew that he stole nothing. He just liked to run a neighborhood, and the way that the defense described the neighborhood every time they brought somebody on, it wasn't a so-called place for where they say he should have been. That neighborhood, that kind of neighborhood, and that's why they did it. And they all found guilty, and they're all going to jail for the rest of their lives, which they should. And it's so funny how you bring everything up front, because that same privilege, so-called privilege that they got before the case even begun, was the same kind of privilege that they got on January 6th. And just like the same kind of privilege the little boy got in Michigan for shooting up the people, the kids, they all got that same privilege. The school knew about him getting the gun. The school knew about him looking up ammo because he was texting his mom saying, "I can't find ammo." And his mom texts back, says, next time, because the teacher saw him, she said something to the mother, never said anything against to the school about it, but the mother texts back, next time, just don't get caught. What kind of shiggity is that? And the school knowing about it, and they never said anything. They never reported anything to the police of, this is what we have going on, this is the information. Had that been African American, we would have been under the jail talking to them through a telephone and a tap wire. I really believe so.
All right. Chris, thanks for the flows, man.
Thanks, sir.
Yep. Have a good vacation. That's Chris checking in on vacay. Appreciate it. Yeah, going back to the case in Michigan, I don't understand why the parents were arrested. Like, the school allowed him to go back to school that day, but then the parents get arrested? I don't get it. Now, it appears to me that there could be, in the minds of some, let's put it that way, enough information to indict the parents of this boy. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't understand how they get charged, but the school let him go back to school. If the school thought he was cool to go back to school and then he commits a crime after a meeting, how is it the parents' fault? I don't get it. But you got to blame somebody. And what we've learned from these school systems, look at the Gabriel Tae case. They don't want to take responsibility. I'll never let CPS off the hook. CPS was in court arguing that when your kid goes to school, that they're not responsible to call you if your kid is found unconscious. They're not responsible to call you and tell you the truth about your child being bullied. That they can lie to you as a parent and handicap your ability to properly be an advocate, not just educationally, but health-wise, emotional and mental health-wise to your child, and they should be exempt because to not would cause the wrong precedence. So they was arguing, in court arguing. And they might still be in court arguing unless that 3-panel judge didn't come back so harshly against their case. And the other thing is, I ain't heard nothing about bullying whatsoever. I have not received any information, no correspondence from CPS about the updates to the bullying as it relates to Gabriel Taye. I just wonder if anything's really, are they dropping the ball on that? What's going on with that? They claimed they was going to have all these reforms and this review. I haven't heard anything. I haven't received anything as a CPS parent because we's waiting. Charles writes, how can Ethan be charged as an adult and his parents charged as well? Michael writes, his mom texted him and said, don't do it. But would you skip? But the question becomes like, if you know that your child is breaking down emotionally or mentally and is having these thoughts, would you send your kid to school? I think that's a good reason for your kid to take a day off. Kids need mental health days too, right? Students need mental health days too. We think it's just the adults that need a mental health day. Have you ever taken a mental health day from work? I mean, physically you feel fine, but mentally and emotionally, you just don't feel like it. And so you call the day off because you don't feel like talking to them mofos today. You don't want to answer no emails. You don't want to answer your phone. So you take a mental health day. We need more mental health days because the culture we live in right now drive a mofo crazy. And so to deal with it, you might need a couple days to unplug from the matrix and don't go to work. I would say students need that as well. And they're students, they're minors. So they got to do what everybody tells them to do. That shit is for the birds. Y'all know y'all couldn't wait to become grown so people could stop telling you what to do. Why would you buy your mentally disturbed son a gun is the question for any parent. That's a fair question. Why buy your son a gun when you know he has these feelings? Absolutely. Absolutely right. And so maybe that's why they were arrested. Again, I'll dig into the details on that. It was because they provided a gun to him knowing the issue that he was dealing with. Just not smart, man. Not smart at all, but good morning to you. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, let me throw my number up. There it is right there, 513-873-7134. Ebony writes, I allow my children mental health days. It's an effective tool. Yeah. If my daughter comes in and said, Dad, I really don't feel like it, I'll ask her. And if it sounds valid, yeah, mental health day, stay home. I mean, damn, if it's that crucial that if you miss one day, you're going to fall completely behind, we got other issues. Good morning to you. We are talking about the fact that we are not in a post-racial America. We've got all these evidence and signs. I just want to bring it all together. The sub-question to that is, what is going on with our white family members? We love to overanalyze the black family every time there's a shooting. And I think there's some reasons behind this that are coming from the black community itself. But when there's shootings and things like that, we tend to overanalyze and to really absorb that in the black community. White folks don't do that. When something happens in the white community, it's an individual thing. It's just that individual. When something happens in the black community, it's a collective thing. It's a reflection on all of us. Perhaps good and bad. So look at that picture right there. See that woman, the strange looking woman right there? She looking like I don't know, she could be on some dumb-ish. Well, she was. This woman is from New York. She drove her car directly through protesters, Black Lives Matter protesters. Her name is Kathleen Casillo, AKA Karen. She's from Queens. And she is charged with driving through a Manhattan Black Lives Matter protest. 52 years old. She was Christmas shopping last year when she got caught on video driving her BMW through the protest. So she got a BMW living in New York. Just doing some shopping. just doing some shopping. In the video, she runs over a man. Well, she didn't run over him. She hit him, and then he rolled over the car. I mean, she drove straight through it, like hit the gas, ran over a bunch of people. One dude was a black dude. She fractured his leg. I saw the video in which he said that for 2 months straight, he couldn't sleep because the pain was so bad. And I thought, I've only had a pain that was so bad that kept me, well, a couple times, but most notably, a pain that wouldn't allow me to sleep is when I broke my big toe. Went up for a dunk, missed a damn dunk. And this is like my toes, this is my foot, these are my toes. You go up for a dunk like this, and usually your feet come back like that. Well, I did this. It was terrible. You look down, your toes like this. Like, ooh, that was a different kind of pain. I couldn't sleep. I knew something was wrong because I figured I'd go to sleep and wake up. You know what I'm saying? When you're a teenager, you get a little ding or a dang there. You go to sleep, you wake up, it's all good. I couldn't go to sleep. I can only imagine what it's like to have a fractured leg. What's so interesting about this case, though, is that she is, clearly on video being seen driving over people. And the prosecutors offered her a plea deal. She ran over some Black Lives Matter protesters. And then they offered her a plea deal. And she said that protesters attacked her car. And that she felt like they were going to break her window and drag her daughter out of it. Like some Birth of a Nathan type ish. Because in Birth of a Nation, you got to watch them black folks. They get a chance to see that white hoodie. They just go crazy for the white hoodie, right? Birth of a Nation. I never said I was an angel. For 1 second here. Never said that. They go crazy for the hoodie. We're going to break the window to hell and get me some of this hoodie. I know. And the plea deal that prosecutors offered her was pretty sweet, like no jail time, a little bit of a fine, and she goes on. She said, nah, She was offered a deal of 6 days of community service and a suspension of her driver's license for 1 year for almost killing people. I can't make this up. Her defense is the fear defense. I was afraid of them. I was afraid they was going to break the window. Now, I'm having some fun with it, being super sarcastic, but I wasn't there. Is that a credible fear to have? Here you are, white female, in the car with your daughter, y'all driving, and you see these protesters, they surround your car. Somebody is hitting on the window and stuff because they like, hey, this is a protest going on. You're going to kill somebody. Here's an image of her in court right here. There she is. I think that's her lawyer. He looks like he's well dressed. Got that power dark blue shirt on in the suit. I like the colors on it. Look at that. Or I don't know. Maybe they are related somehow. Do they look like they got money, as people say? She got something. She getting a sweet deal. So the deal was for almost killing multiple people and driving over people. The deal was you get 6 days of community service and suspend your license for a year. And she said, no. She said, no, I ain't taking that. Quote, I feel sick. I never intended on hurting anyone. I just feared for my daughter's life more than anybody. I thought they were going to pull her out of the car. Now, maybe she did feel that way. Maybe she did. I don't know. But my thing is, I don't know how they do things up in New York, but like, how you going to drive through a protest? I mean, typically they have police officers and things like this. Maybe it was like, something that was spontaneous or something like that. So they didn't have like the permits and police protections and stuff like that. But how do you even do something like that? Like, you see that there is a mass group of people. I don't care what they're doing. It could be Black Lives Matter supporters. It could be anti-vaxxers. It could be pro-Trumpers. You just going to drive straight through them? Anthony writes, not hard to believe, Nate. Remember, we have a woman, her name is Betsy, that has a lot of fear. I was afraid. Kyle Rittenhouse, I was afraid. Right? We keep hearing this over and over again. I was afraid. Why are they so damn afraid? If anybody should be afraid, it should be us. If history is any indicator of the future, which we all know it's the best indicator of the future, we should be afraid. These guys right here, they were afraid. Kyle Rittenhouse, I was afraid. What is the hell is going on? What is going on? We need to get to the bottom of this so we can help our fellow humans. We only got one Earth. We only got one country called America, or the United States, a.k.a. America. America! Wasn't that Eminem? White America! Only Eminem could get away with that. That was the chorus. White America! I mean, people got banged up. I mean, literally, you see somebody rolling off of the vehicle when she rolls them up, when she runs through them, because she was afraid. So you're going to kill a lot of people because you're afraid. I mean, fear is a good motivator, though. We know that. It's a great motivator. And then you've got Rep. Thomas Massey. Look at this photograph. Let me see if I can get a better image for you. You got to see this. You got to see this. You got to read some of the comments from his Twitter account. I mean, it is hilarious. It's everything. Look at this. Look at this. What you so afraid of? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guns in my house. You got 7 guns there. Look at the ARs back there. 1, 2, 3, 4 assault rifles. She got like a little Uzi in her hand. Y'all got Uzis? They got everything. Looks like mom's got a shotgun right there. And then look at him. Oh boy, this is a phallic symbol. Thomas Massey, Rep. Thomas Massey. He tweeted this on December the 4th at 1:22 p.m., which was, what was that, Thursday? That was Saturday. This is what he was doing on Saturday. This is what, any folks from Kentucky out here? And then Chop Shop this morning, right in front of the Christmas tree. Ho, ho, Merry Christmas. The hell? What in the hell are they so afraid of? You know, damn well, he'd probably live in a gated community, ritzy, exclusive community. What you say? Ain't nobody coming to your house to do a damn thing, Rep. Massey. Oh, it's for hunting. Oh, that's right. You like to hunt. What are you going to hunt with that weapon that's in his hand right there? If there are any of God's creatures that you have to use a weapon of that type to try to take out, you probably shouldn't be trying to take it out. Leave that creature alone. What are they so afraid of? We're safe. We are safe. I mean, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If so, drop a few words for me about this picture. I mean, what are they trying to tell us? It's political, right? Pro NRA types. Somebody write, this is Montel Williams, the Montel Williams. He tweeted on this, or he commented on this Twitter stream. I've been a gun owner my entire life. Guns are tools. They are not fashion accessories. 4 kids were shot by a teenager last week because of adults who didn't take their or my Second Amendment rights seriously. Stunts like yours remain the greatest threat to my Second Amendment rights, sir. This is what you do when you're in Congress. Got to show everybody, yeah, don't come here. Got a shotty, Got 4 ARs, shotty, a Uzi, and I'll just say that's a Rambo gun. Like one of the guns that Rambo, he had like 2, he had 1 in each arm, in each hand. Remember that? It's the Rambo gun. I'm not sure what that is. Rambo 2, 3, 10, something like that. Rambo 17. Oh man, oh man. Look at that. That they are safe. That they feel safe now. Everybody wants to feel safe. Kamiki writes, these unreasonable fears are exactly the reasons classes and discussions on race and racism need to be required by every grade level through college. TNT writes, meet the killers. So not meet the killers. Jerry writes, we ready. A picture is worth 1,000 words. If so, what does this picture say to you? What are they trying to tell us? Trying to tell us something. These comments are everything, though. These comments are everything. Somebody writes, control versus freedom. Which side are you on? It's no longer Democrat versus Republican. It's control versus freedom. And I guess Republicans, they are for freedom. Except when it comes to the freedom of a woman's right to choose. Oops. There I go, bringing up uncomfortable truths. Freedom, my ass. They're for freedom, so they were going to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Ohio. But they're for freedom, okay. And by that I mean, you know, some of these Trump sympathizers. Let me go back to the phones. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. What's popping?
Speaking of Trump sympathizer.
Oh, see, here you go. I am a registered supporter. I mean, a registered voter.
Trump sympathizer.
I am not a sympathizer.
Yes,
none of that.
Yes,
but this is a very.
You voted for him twice. The whole time you called to the show, you've been shielding him like an offensive lineman.
No, see, there you go. You bring up Trump every time I hold my president, Joseph R. Biden, accountable, and the destruction and the disaster that is his presidency. You bring up Trump. You bring up Trump. I don't bring him up.
Yeah,
Mr. Ivey.
I know.
The man
because
is a disaster.
That's right.
The man is a disaster, Mr. Ivey. I mean, in the 30s, Mr. Ivey, in the 20s, and ain't no mention.
In the 30s, you talking about the temperature in Cincinnati? What are you talking about?
See? But anyway, great topic. Now, my question to you is, are all those weapons in that picture legal or illegal?
I can only imagine that they're legal.
Okay. Now, what would be the difference if they took a picture holding, let's say, replica weapons that had no firing pins, weren't able to be shot or anything? They were just replicas because the family or the individual and collects weapons. What's wrong with that, Mr. Ivey?
Where are you going with this?
I'm going with you trying to politicize the fact that this family that happen to be white are exercising their Second Amendment. There was a photo, I think you put it up on your site last summer of a black father who had a picture with his daughter, his wife, and his son out hunting. They were in the the hunting gear. They weren't sitting in the house, but they were out and they all had their weapons. Because
I think you're taking it out of context, don't you? Don't you think so?
No, I'm not. You are.
No,
you
actually,
taking this.
I'm not, sir. I think you're taking out of context because you brought up an example that don't really match.
Yes, it does. It's a black
really
family.
Match.
Black families should exercise and display their embrace of the Second Amendment like white people do.
You missed the point. No,
I'm going by what, Mr. Ivey, I've been listening to you since about 8:15 your time. I've been listening to your whole diatribe trying to politicize what this politician do. Now, I will tell you. I
Do you
will
want me
tell
to
you
set
this,
straight on
Mr. Ivey.
brother? Just let me know when you
No,
want me
I'm
to
getting
correct you and put things
Okay,
back in the
all right.
proper context.
Okay, after you hear me say this, you may change what you're getting ready to say to me. But anyway, the reason that this politician took that photo, Mr. Ivey, it was for one reason and one reason only, and that's to fundraise. Okay, so all politicians do stunts like this. Sometimes it's with weapons. Sometimes it's with people that just shot 2 white guys in Wisconsin, or it could be a guy that got shot 7 times in the back and is now in a wheelchair. All politicians use props and people to raise money for their political campaign. All politicians are the same, Republican or Democrat.
No,
they gotta raise that money. So the only way they get that money is when they get people who support them to agree with them, and then piss people off like you on the Democrat side, because the Democrats, just like you're doing, just like you're doing, the Democrats also use the photo of a Republican exercising the Second Amendment to also fundraise. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you're going to say. I don't want to hear shit from Glenn. Nah, Glenn, get his punk ass on the phone. I don't want to hear nothing Glenn got to say.
That's not a good reason for 4 people who die and the parents are arrested. So that's the point. You took it out of context. You start comparing it to something.
But Mr. Ivey, that family of that congressman did not shoot anybody.
He was exercising Second Amendment rights. It's not about the exercise of the Second Amendment rights. That's not the issue that people have. It's 2 issues.
That's my opinion.
That's
my opinion. Just like you had your opinion about what the picture meant.
This man is a member of Congress. He represents people.
So what?
What you mean?
What's that mean?
What? So that means everything. It means, it means that he stands for something bigger than just his own individual desires and motivations. That's one of the biggest differences between comparing what Rep Massey did to just some average Joe Blow. They got 2 levels of responsibility. And then the second way is different is you check it out of context. This just happened when you had 4 students that lost their lives. So people feel like,
how do you know when the photo was taken? You don't know when the photo was taken.
It don't matter when the photo was taken, sir. It only matters when it was posted. And it was posted 4 days after 4 American students lost their lives in a tragic shooting. And so 4 days later, you posting this, so you want to do fundraising? He deserves to be criticized.
Mr. Ivey. First of all, the school shooting took place in Michigan. Do you even know where this representative is from? What state he's from? He's from Kentucky. So what does Kentucky representative who took a family photo with their legally owned weapons have to do with some crazy ass family who raised some crazy ass boy to go shoot up a school? What do the 2 have to do with each other?
Regardless from what state they come from, did they actually vote on matters of national importance on a regular basis? You do realize that, sir, right? Like his home state might be in Kentucky, but when he goes to work every day, he gets to vote and give his opinion and weigh in on things of national interest. You realize that, don't you?
Now you're trying to insult my intelligence, or is that a rhetorical question?
So I don't understand where you're coming from with your original setup, talking about he's from Kentucky and this happened in Michigan. That is irrelevant, sir.
Again, Mr. Ivey, the state of Kentucky is different from the state of California. That's 1. 2.
Does he represent American interests as a member of Congress?
No, his first
job.
He represents.
Wrong.
See, there you go. See, you're gonna yell over me. You acted like a caller.
You're wrong, but go right ahead.
Okay. First of all, Mr. Ivey, he was sent to Congress by his constituents in Kentucky, and the district where he lives. I don't know. I'm not from Kentucky, but I'm assuming the district where he lives, there are quite a few gun owners who own similar weapons. So in order to excite his base for the upcoming election, or to excite his base about a future event that he's going to hold, he's going to cater to his constituents.
And this is the reason why the Republican Party is not more diverse, because Republicans like yourself, you come up with every excuse to explain bad behavior. Every excuse to explain bad behavior from Republicans.
But see, there you go again.
That's the reason why your party will never be more diverse.
Your opinion is that it's a bad photo.
Your
In
role
his opinion
as a black
and his
Republican
constituents, it's a beautiful
should be,
photo.
sir,
So
to
again,
hold
Mr.
the
Ivey, maybe
Republican
Glenn
Party
should call you,
to a higher
and you can talk
standard.
over him. Because
That's the
when
role
I
that you
when
can
I
play,
when I
Drop.
push you into a corner
Drop.
and you have nowhere to
Republicans
go,
do not
this is
need
what you do.
another black step and fetch it type. Not saying that's who you are, but that's some people might look at it that way. They got plenty of those. Don't be that. If you want to stand out in the Republican Party, hold them accountable to a higher standard, sir. Hold them accountable. He hung up. He don't want to hear that. That's too real for him. Hold them accountable to a higher standard, sir. Okay? You got every excuse in the book for Trump and the Trump pansies. Every excuse. You got every excuse. And they don't need another step and fetch it black dude. They got plenty of them. Okay? So if you're going to do something and you're going to represent the Republican Party, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But hold them to a higher standard. That's what would make your party more diverse. It would open up the tent. But we got too many step and fetch it black Republicans that's willing to, I guess it's like intellectual jousting or something. You want to get so creative in your defense of their bad behaviors. You were so creative in your defense of the bad behavior of the Republican Party. But then every time that Joe Dieters loses a point on Real Clear Politics, you want to declare it's a national referendum against his administration. Huh? Come on, dude. Come on, be better. If you're going to do the black Republican thing, do the black Republican thing, but do it differently. Don't just be like Diamond and Burlap. Don't just be another Candace Owens. Don't just do that, man. Do it differently, bro. Stand out and stand up. But I've yet to hear you do that. If Joe Biden falls down a flight of stairs, to you, it's an example of how the American public has voter remorse. I mean, come on, bro. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Welcome to the show.
Now do you people get it? I mean, honestly, guys, this is why I have a distinct disdain for black conservatives. I mean, don't you get it now? I mean, you mentioned it, Nate. Out of all the things that Drop has ever said when calling out, today was a day where he stretched it to its furthest extreme, where you just can't simply understand, Drop, that it was, I don't know, how can we put it? Bad timing, lack class, lack tact. Because, I don't know, the events that just happened, Drop, when 4 people died. You got parents and the son locked up in the same damn jail center. They in the same JC together. I'm a line of fly, mate.
Yes, they are.
That was your whole point the whole time. This isn't we know who the hell Thomas Massey is. Drop, he's right next door. Right next door. But see, this is why Drop plays along being the black step and fetch it, Mr. Gullible man himself, when it came to Michael Byrd and the shooting of Ashley Babbitt. I told you that, Nate. You know, it was a brother that happened to be that Capitol officer at the time who shot him. Well, so what does Drop do? He pulls out the Officer Tatum, Breonna Taylor argument. Come on, Drop, tell the people the truth. And he right there along with them. You get 900 views, 899 of them to check your Gilligan ass out. That's nothing to be proud of. I don't know. Today was an embarrassment for you, Drop. And I know you're going to go ahead and call your little Gilligan ass friends who think just like you, you know, they want to call Nate part of the, what do they call you, the black media, the sycophants for the Democratic Party. You know that, Nate, don't you? Oh, yeah, I told you. We got Judas among the black choppers. Oh, and you know, I'm just going to throw this out there, but there was a recent breakup of the Mickey Mouse twins, and they right there along with Drop. Oh, yeah, I'm telling it all. We all like tea. I'm drinking green tea this morning. So, Drop, like, again, you embarrassed yourself, dude. And then you tried to do the Republican filibuster that I see on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. Just keep talking. You keep talking. Nate answered your question. You don't want to answer it. That's why you don't want to debate me, Drop. Because you're scared that you're going to look like a fool because these Gilligan Buster, right-wing talking points. And quite honestly, Drop, we got a 50,000-watt radio station here in this city. They spit the same old garbage, and we destroy their ass too, just as easily as your argument that comes up on this show. Again, very entertaining, Drop. We need that. I was laughing my ass off while Nate was dog walking your ass. But no, I just had to get that out there. But yeah, and then have you heard about the latest news? And I know Anthony posted it on the Friends of the Nathan Ivey Show. But there's a Capitol Police officer. You talk about how, you know, the January 6th attack. There are people that were saying that Michael Flynn, his brother, and I forget the other gentleman's name. I think his name might be Pratt. That they falsified their testimony in front of January 6th. That they didn't call in the DC National Guard. And this guy saying, no, we were ready to go. We were ready to stop the onslaught, the domestic terrorist attack, but the generals wouldn't let us do it. And then falsified the testimony in front of Congress. Trump didn't tell you about that either, did he? Oh, as much as he talks about the desperate Democrats, I was watching the story today. It was on Morning Joe this morning. Well, and I can't think of the guy's name, redhead, got a red beard, Republican, but he voted for the impeachment of Donald Trump because of January 6th. Oh my God. You know, I told you they turned January 6th into the freaking Rodney King case now, Nate. But yeah, he voted for Trump to get impeached. Now the big article is, will he survive? Because he decided to do the right thing. But here comes Trump. I dance. Man, your coon ship is on like Thanos mode. Man, let me get out of here, man. I'm out. Petty peace.
Appreciate the call. That's for Drop. That's for Glenn. Appreciate the calls. Yeah, Drop is on one. That's my brother, though. I love my brother, though. Believe me. Only I can talk about Drop like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother right there. And that's one of the first times he hung up. I must have irritated him I guess I was talking over him. I didn't mean to, but he wouldn't let me finish, so I had to finish. But that's my brother right there. Drop. I hope you're not mad at me, bro. But I have to tell you, man, I don't want my brother out here looking crazy. CMB. Right before they put the knife right in your back. Let me take a quick break. All right, we'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth, my friends. Men are allowed to be men. You could be a man on this show. And of course, sucker MCs get dealt with. We'll be right back.
Black boy joy, she wanna see the Forbes like I wanna see her form. Tell me what you for, yeah. Hey, you pay me, but I'm old, yeah. All this money on me. Yeah, cash rolls all around me. Yeah, all this money around me. Yeah, cash rolls all around me. Hey, yeah, man, I feel like a man with that. I took a long little real life stage trying that. Hey, no, man, I feel like a man with that. I took a long little real life stage trying that. Hey, big bags, my back ache through customs. You travel like you must be tough out of your luck, huh? I'm that go-to when she down to come through clutch, huh? Sit round till I'm flush time. My drip, real plush, huh? Internet tea off a blue pill. Hand grip stack of the blue cheese. Turn that to a bag in a new crib. Nice big spot by the seaside. Never stressed on for a handout. Just ain't on what it be on. Just ain't on need to be right. Yeah. Gold front to show the killer of my soul. Cool you think you is, you got me in a mode. Where I'm from, we live and die by the code. Either that or sell your soul to get rolled. Black boy joy, she wanna see the Forbes like I wanna see her form. Tell me what. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Just a quick break, just a couple of minutes. Let's get back at it. We are not in a post-racial America. Subtitle: What's up with the white family? I am genuinely concerned. Something is not right. Something is not right. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what does this picture say to you? What does this picture say to you? Or how about this picture? Or this picture? Or these collections of pictures? What is going on?
What does this say to you? What is going on? Let's talk about it this morning. Again, at 513-873-7134. Okay, so it was a week ago when I gave you my non-spoiler review, and something tells me that I still want to maintain that because I know how it is. People watch things at different speeds, but how many people got a chance to tap into the that Kevin Hart joint on Netflix? You know what I'm saying? How many people got a chance to check that out? A little something different from Kevin Hart. I want to get your thoughts about it. Did you like it? Welcome to the Nathan Ivey Show, where a man can be a man, scratch burp. That's right. Well, what I mean by that is that masculinity is not criminalized here, right? In growing spaces, it feels like masculinity is under attack. Toxic masculinity. Who came up with that? That's not masculinity. That's something else. But they label it as masculinity. I don't think so. A Milford Junior High School student was arrested over an alleged kill list. It makes me wonder, how safe are our schools? It makes me really wonder, how safe are our schools? And this is not the time to be playing around with like guns or drawing a gun. Like, if your kids are creative and they can draw, make sure they don't draw any weapons or anything that has anything to do with the military, anything like that. Because if I worked in the school, I would be on high alert. High alert. And it's just such a defenseless position because you're just working at the school. You don't know what's going on at home. You're not responsible for that until something bad happens. Then it's a problem for everybody. Again, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. I read that things have been real bad for Chris Cuomo. He was on CNN. He got fired from CNN. And then he recently stepped away from his Sirius XM show. You know, his brother is the former governor of New York. And his brother stepped down because he got caught up with Me Too. His actions came back to get him. And apparently Chris Cuomo got fired from CNN for basically being disingenuous, or should I say not fully honest. Apparently he was coaching his brother. And the thought is that he was using his position in the media, not as a journalist and looking at things and covering things in an unbiased way, but in a way that was biased to his Me Too brother. Could you imagine being a governor of a state and you got to step down because you was trying to shoot your shot at women that weren't interested? All these women that are interested, and these mofos keep getting caught up with women that aren't interested. Yo, memo from me to men. Number one, if you're in a workplace scenario, you shouldn't be trying to smash anyway, even though it might be available. It might be available. But think twice about it, because that's how people get caught up. You got some men out there and they get close, they get an opportunity, they just got to take it. I got to take it. But I don't understand why pressure a woman that don't want it. She don't like you. You're not her style. She ain't feeling the vibe. She don't like this. She don't like this. She don't want to do it. Why you gonna keep pushing up on her? And it's impossible for Idris Elba to ever sexually harass anyone. Because even if a woman wasn't interested in Idris Elba, she'd be flattered that he shot his shot. Same thing with the dude that played in Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? What was the character's name? You know what I'm talking about. So Chris Cuomo is out. And I like Chris Cuomo because he used to just keep the heat on the Republican establishment and Trump. He kept it real with him. I saw all of his interviews with like members of the Trump media types. You know what I'm saying? He went to bat for common sense in that respect. And then you get caught up with this because your brother. I mean, come on, man. Just really bad. It's just a really bad situation right there. Again, number one, to men, if you're in a position on the job of authority and responsibility, you just can't have her. You just can't have her. There's plenty out here. You just can't have that one. But, you know, with a man, when it's something that you can't have or you shouldn't have, it makes you want it even more, right? Probably women too. I get it. It's just a human thing. Why did God make the taboo so damn fucking attractive? Why did he make it that way, Lord? Why did he make it that way? What you're not supposed to have is the thing that you want the most. What kind of effed up ish is that? God is a comedian. He's got a sense of humor. You gonna send me to hell for this? It's not right, God. It's not right. God has made some women so irresistible. Chris writes, damn apple, right? The apple is so, you just want to take a bite out of it. I have to. That forbidden apple is a mofo, boy. We should do a whole story, a whole show on the forbidden apple. Just the more that it's forbidden and the more taboo it is, the more you want it. Especially as a man, you want it. I want the whole apple pie now. And I want some more later. Man, TNT writes, Cuomo always said during the scandal he won't talk about his brother's case because he is biased. How in the hell is CNN in control of what he does outside the business? Right. I'm with you on that. But we live in the last days of common sense. Things don't have to make sense anymore. Things do not have to make sense anymore. For every 10 likes that we get, Facebook increases our engagement. Did you know that? For every 10 likes that we get, Facebook increases your engagement more and more because they're like, oh, people like this. So please like and share. It's a double whammy, right? Like and share. It'll increase our visibility. Men in positions of authority have a problem understanding why any woman wouldn't want them. They can't believe that with all their power and status, they aren't that appealing to every woman out here. Maybe with some, yeah, I guess. They get that Mamba mentality, right? That Kobe mentality. That's a really bad joke. That's a really bad joke. You know, I think that Kobe was guilty. Personally, he was guilty of something because you don't pay off people that you're not guilty of doing something with. They ain't got no dirt on you. I don't believe it. Eyes don't believe it. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Ray writes, are we believing all women that says they've been harassed asking for a friend? No. Some of those stories sound like BS. That's why I'm a peach guy. Apples are trouble. Is that right? The forbidden apple. Why did God make the forbidden apple so irresistible? I can't resist. I've got to touch it. And if I touch it, I've got to taste it. And if I taste it, I've got to have it. I read this morning that Stevie J is requesting spousal support in his divorce of Faith Evans. Faith Evans must have some problems. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I always believed Tupac. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I always believed Tupac. When he said he smashed Faith, I believed it. There's a YouTube channel called The Art of Dialogue. They spoke with this chick, man. I like watching the interviews. And she seemed like she got a really, really dope personality. And Jewel. And they asked her if she knew anything about Tupac and Biggie and Faith hooking up. And she told the truth. Like, yeah, she did that thing with that man. With her nasty self. Stevie J is a music producer, used to work with Puffy. He made a really big name for himself on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And him and Faith Evans have been married for a short time now. And now they're getting divorced. I saw a video in which he seemed to be saying that she cheated on him with some dude in their bedroom. and she seemed like she was drowsy. So either she was tired, fed up, or drugged up, or all three. It might have been all three. But now they're getting a divorce, and he's going to be petitioning his soon-to-be ex-wife for a monthly stipend. Apparently, she make more money than he do. And I ain't mad about that. I ain't mad about that at all. Get to the pockets. Instead of getting to the choppers, get to the pockets, Stevie J. Get to the pockets. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Nicole. How you doing?
Hey, Nicole. Good morning. Doing well.
Hey, you switched it up on us. That's Steve J. He's such a rat. I can't even believe that. You doing that to Faith Evans?
So what you mean
but
doing
it's
that
all
to her?
scandal. No, it's because they have been married for like such a short time. He pressed upon her so ridiculous, and now he's trying to file for alimony. Like, really?
That's
I mean, he's a washed-up producer pretty much now, but it's ridiculous. Like, let that woman live her life. Like, he's trying to go in her pockets what little bit, whatever she had. Like, that's such a rat move. He probably needed to take care of all his kids or something. I don't know, but he don't need to do all that. Ain't even been married, a whole year or so? That's whack. But I digress, because I was calling about your post-racial topic. I think it's just ironic, really since the beginning with the election of President Barack Obama. That right there just kind of reinforced the true racist nature of America. From there, we've seen an increase in white supremacist groups, more purchases of guns and ammo, the emerging of the Tea Party and birtherism. And really, it was just like another wave of the great white resistance, which if you look all throughout history, every single time there's been some sort of advancement for African Americans, every single time, any major advancement, all the way from Reconstruction era, we was met with a resistance that usually it takes almost a century to overcome. And I think more recently, what we're seeing now with the election of Biden and the first, female African American, Asian American vice president, that just pulled up another surge. And plus the new congressman, the African American man and the Jewish man in Georgia, that kind of set off another wave of what we're seeing right now. So you're seeing all across the country, all these voter suppression laws, rise and stand your ground laws, and more lax gun laws. We're seeing House Bill 99. Now we need guns among teachers. Now they're talking about critical race theory. So it's all these things that come together, and they form Voltron, basically, when it's just like anytime there's a threat to their way of life. Like you said, it is about fear. It's about fear of losing power. It's about fear of retaliation. It's all these things. And a portion of them understand that, they realize that, and some of them, they know that and they don't care. It's just like, I had an epiphany one day. It was just like, the spoils of war. When if you got captured and your village was taken over and you're captured or whatever, you just kind of go with the whole thing. So there's some people ideas like, well, we did this, but they don't feel any obligation to make right their wrong, even though, what was done to African Americans kind of was like the just most extreme atrocities to humankind, which leads me to what I saw yesterday, which led me to like almost just vomit. I was watching CNN, and they were talking about China and how, I guess, the Biden administration, we're going to not send diplomats for the Beijing Olympics in protest of China's human rights issues. The whole thing with the Asian lady who seemed to be, suppressed or just being held hostage and could have been raped or whatever allegations of rape. And so that's, now we're all into China and how they regulate their society and everything else. Which this is a whole country. We can't stop the way they do what they do over there. Is it wrong? Is it right? Maybe, but that is their country. And we can't superimpose our will and our way on another country. It just, so this is supposed to be a show a sign of strength. And this effort is bipartisan support. And I was watching CNN, and Bob Costa, I know he's like, a news, sports news, analysis, and they were taking his take. And he was basically like, China is like the number one human rights violator. What they're doing is such an atrocity. I'm like, how does that come out of his white lips? That they are the number one human rights violator? It baffles me how, we over here in this country can sit up here and talk about what is done in other people, and we'll never right the wrongs to the people in this country. Like when we get on that conversation about African Americans, whether it's the George Floyd justice and police, we just don't want to be killed by our own government paid, taxpayer paid police officers. You know what I mean? And we're getting killed like this, and we're filling up the prisons. We're doing a mass incarceration. We're the ones that is affected by infant mortality and health issues. The pandemic is affecting us more than anything else. We're the ones that is not provided fair housing and opportunities and everything else. And it's just like this ongoing thing. And you don't, when it comes to conversations or any laws that moves in that direction, we can't get bipartisan support. There is no desire for it at all. Matter of fact, it's just more of making it more challenging, more difficult on some of the simplest things. Like we're talking about gun rights, the Second Amendment right. That may be all fair and all, but we all know that we start gearing up and getting guns, we can have it. But more than likely, when we get met by officers or whatever, and we have a gun in our possession, it could be a death sentence. Like I fear every day my brother having, being a gun carrier. A lot of men in my family, they carry guns or whatever. And it's my biggest fear that something happens and their gun is just mistaken of a weapon to be used against the police. And they're shot, and it's an afterthought. They don't take the time to see he's a legal gun owner and he served this country and everything else. It's just going to be like black man gun problem. You know what I mean? And until we overcome those type of things, we would never need a post-racial society. And really, until they provide reparations, quite frankly, like I think for our community, our race of people, it will be the beginning of acknowledgement and recognition. But if we don't even have that, we're not even discussing that. You're handling everyone else's problems, trying to be humanitarian for every other country, and you don't deal with what's going on here. No, it's never going to that. As a matter of fact, we are regressing. It's coming more to like civil war and just everything possible to be more divided than united than ever before. And it's sad. It's sad. But one other thing, did you see the interview with the young man that he was a student at the high school that got shut up? It was like a young black boy.
I did not see it, no.
You might need to pull that video. I don't know if you're able to show it on Facebook or not, but they had did an interview with one of the students. He was a young black boy, probably a sophomore or junior. And he also played on the football team. Like a lot of people that passed away, they were either like athletes or cheerleaders or something like that. So you can understand what that whole dynamic might have been, in a situation, just jealousy, envy, or whatever, bullying. It could have been all of that. Doesn't mean they deserve any of it. But so the young man was just with his family, his father, his mother, and they like trying to console him. This is just like, a day or the same day all this was happening. And, he learned that right in that moment, they had broke the news that another classmate had passed. He was like in critical condition. He just started breaking down, crying like, I knew him too. And like the guy that was shot for sure, the white boy, he was like a quarterback. And they all play football together, and they would all come to their house every Thursday and eat or whatever. So it was like a family unit type team. And he just felt like, you know, he was impacted in such a way, like he knew those individuals. He just started breaking down crying. And he had his dad. His dad was like a big football player and stuff. And he was just like, I was in there, and you know, the first person I called was my dad. And they was like, well, do you feel like your dad is hero? Why did you call your dad? Not the police. Like, he's just like, he's everything. Like, he's my hero, whatever, like that. And his dad just started breaking down, crying, like, you know, what do you do in those situations? Like, all his dad said is, I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming. But that got to be a scary situation. But he also had informed, like, some people knew, like some of the students knew, and they didn't show up to school. And so it was just like this conversation, this rumbling and everything else, like there was preventative measures there to warn people and maybe prevent it, but it just, things happened the way they did. I think that, you know, more schools need to utilize their metal detectors. I think, you know, being lax in this day and age, you just cannot. It's got to be like TSA airports. It just have to be, people going to be late or whatever, but you just got to run through it. And instead of guns on our teachers, you know what I mean? Maybe they should be allowed to have mace or something like that, because deadly weapons, like I said before, it's just, you know, it's a recipe for disaster. And if they're not properly trained and anything else, so many things, so many scenarios can go wrong. Like, you got a gun, you're shooting at the assailant, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a student, somebody that you've seen in the classroom, maybe someone you even taught. So that whole dynamic of having to take the life of somebody that you taught, that could be crazy. And then to do that in front of students, that could be a scenario like, do you really want to be in the middle of that? And then you're shooting in the stuff, and police are coming in, and they don't know who is who. They have to do a clearance. You could get caught up in the gunfire. So it's just ridiculous. But to stop the threat, and to, getting maced in the eye real quick, not saying it is, prevent everything, but it's more of a safer option that could happen. But it's just a lot of things that they need to. They even got these like door stops to prevent people from busting in the doors. That could be a fire hazard. I don't know, but it's just got to be other ways. We really got to stop it in its path. But it really just starts with the gun laws in general. These weapons of war. Why do families need to have like AK-47s and these type of weapons that could kill multiple people in seconds? Like, why is that like unnecessary in our country? It's a lot of work that got to be done, but we just got to have the motivation and really just the power in the collective to say what we want this country to be. And right now it's just like they're winning that narrative, they're winning that argument, and people are losing their lives. And I'm sure this whole country, we're tired of it. We're more than tired of it. But why we can't push beyond that resistance, why we can't overcome that right now is beyond me. We got to do better on that. Really, really do more than just talk about it, but we got to put action behind it and make things happen, because our kids are growing up, and this can happen at any of our kids' schools. We're not immune to none of this. This can happen while we go into the store. We are not immune to this. So this society right now is more than dangerous than we're prepared to deal with at this moment. And we got to demand more from these lawmakers to do more to protect citizens and Americans in this country. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
I'll talk to you, brother.
Take it easy.
All right.
Appreciate you. Good morning to you. Let me see here. Just some more news that you can use. I want to talk about some local things. I mean, later today, Mayor-elect Aftab Pureval is going to announce who he's going to choose to lead the various committees on city council. These are very influential positions, and I think it'll say something about where the priorities might line up for certain members of city council and who you go to about certain things. So we'll be looking for that. I'll post on Facebook, and of course we'll talk about tomorrow and break it all down. I did see some plans, man. They got big plans throughout the city. FC Cincinnati is they're buying a building down in here in the city of Cincinnati, and they're going to turn it into mixed use. Apparently, it's just kind of been sitting there. That's right. FC Cincinnati, they want to make the West End into more than just a place where you go for their stadium and go see a soccer game. And they want to turn it into, a multiple place space kind of venue. If they do it, it'll probably be interesting. Again, we continue to have these conversations about gentrification, but then people also say that they feel as if when like people will say they love OTR. They'll say on one hand, I love OTR, this is great, but damn, that gentrification was bad. So which is it? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. There's also some interesting plans for Central Parkway. I saw the advanced renderings of it. They got some firms that want to jump on that. They want to redesign Central Parkway. It looked pretty interesting. And if you're an entrepreneur, hey, maybe downtown is a place where your business is going to have a storefront, right? If you're someone that puts on events, it could be a space that in that space, that are being conceptualized now where, it could be a spot for your new venue. You know what I'm saying? Like smart people are always thinking about how to make money. And Cincinnati is a great place to make money. There's so many opportunities in all of these different neighborhoods. I'll say it again, 15 years, Cincinnati will be a destination spot, we could be a place that becomes a real hub for human activity and creativity. It could happen. Could be. Crystal writes, random, it's cold out here. Cincinnati, button up. Good morning to you, Crystal. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm doing just fine.
It's cold as hell out, but I'm outstanding. I'm pleasant, and it's cold as hell out, but I'm gonna still find a way to make it a positive day, despite hearing that BS I just heard. Long-winded. Listen. I just heard the vice president of the NAACP say we got to press the lawmakers and blah, blah, blah. What the hell has that organization been doing the last 150 years? Oh, that's right, rallying at churches, doing voting drives, stuff like that, instead of pressing lawmakers.
TNT rights
you
go to hell.
Understand me? Say what?
The TNT rights go to hell.
Oh, you took time to tell me that she said that?
Yeah,
tell me.
It just popped up, and I figured I'd throw it in real quick so you know.
You know what, TNT? You still my homie. I'm just saying you are too young to sound like a Negro. You're 40 years old and sound like you grew up in the 50s and 60s. What is that organization doing to you? Hypnotizing you. Everything sounds prepared in a speech, and it's just like, wow, like, this is kind of long-winded here, hon. Come on. Those professional protesters are over with.
Janice wants to know, have you ever tried to help the NAACP?
Yes, I donated. I've been to meetings. I actually won a door prize. What is Janice talking about? Huh?
I actually won a door prize. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Also, I heard the brother, one of the first calls of the day, kind of give props to the Ahmaud Arbery prosecutors.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I feel like I could have prosecuted that case. Very simple question. Why y'all trusting this brother down the street with a gun? That's all. Why didn't you call the police and say you think you found the guy until you had him cornered with guns? Let's not give these people props for doing the bare minimum. I mean, get a jury prop for seeing past race and saying, yeah, this was just too foul. That even us can't even stand this. Get him the props, not the prosecutor. I mean, we've seen prosecutors. Even Joe Dieters with the Ray Tenzing trial. I mean, let's be honest. We don't like the result, but even Clyde Bennett kind of said, kind of told us several times, like, he's not going to get a conviction. Before the first trial started, he's like, he's not. First, it's too hard to convict a cop, and two, that camera only shows things from Ray Tenzing's chest. Ray Tenzing's like 6'5". And 3, most importantly, the guy actually did try to drive off. So I wasn't surprised at that. Even though Joe Dieters may have done a piss poor job anyway. Now, there was one more thing somebody had said that kind of had me disgusted, kind of, chapped my ass a little bit. But I forgot. And shout out to Drop Squad. Keep doing your thing, B. These people are just jealous that they don't have the mental dexterity to form their own opinion outside of the box of the triple B. Not the big baller brand, but the basic, banal black speak. White folks ain't treating us right.
You're wrong for that.
Been hearing that for 500 years. Well, that's what it is.
You're wrong for that.
That's all y'all do.
No,
that's all y'all been doing all day for two hours. Oh, if this person was white, they would have.
You're wrong for that, bro.
There's not gonna be a transracial America. White folks ain't about to wake up. White folks ain't about to wake up after 500 years and all of a sudden have a heart of gold.
That's not why you wrong, though, brother. That's not why you wrong. You wrong because on one hand, you're trying to come off like you supporting Drop, but you are not supporting that black man by rubber stamping that obvious nonsense. You dead wrong for that. You're supposed to hold him accountable and be real with him, talking about BBB. Stop it. Stop it. Tell that black man the truth. And stop acting like you friends with him just because you rubber stamping all the dumb shit that comes out of his mouth, man. That's not being a good brother.
How dare you?
I dare.
How dare you try to tell somebody the nerve of this N-word to get on here and try to tell somebody how they ain't helping a brother. When I told you to leave the alt middle stuff alone, it is what it is. It was what it was. Leave it where it was, and you continue to bring it up.
Middle stuff. See, you brought it up.
Because that's what you do.
I'm talking about Drop. I'm talking about you being a real good brother to Drop and not just rubber stamping his nonsense. A good brother, sometimes you got to tell your brother you wrong. And
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He be dead wrong. He be dead wrong logically on all levels of common sense. And you got the nerve to come in here and rubber stamp him. You're not being a good brother.
I believe I am. I'm supporting my brother. I'm supporting his right to think outside the box, think independently, individually, outside of the triple B mess. Basic, banal, black speak. It's been real. I'll holler.
I had fun.
Oh!
Okay, you got a good howl in. Appreciate that.
Get to the chopper!
Go ahead and level him up a little bit. Say, how dare you? That man is nuts. How dare you? He is hilarious for that. But I meant what I said though, man. You're not being a good brother. Don't set drop up for failure like that. I don't like you setting that brother up for failure. You know what I'm saying? We have to hold him accountable, just like he holds us accountable to a higher standard. That's it. Drop Squad writes, rack them. Y'all are hilarious, man. I did not bring up the alt middle breaking up because I'm over it now. I'm over it. Y'all don't want to tell us what happened? Okay, I'll just leave it like that. I've moved on. Some more news you may be able to use, just some random tidbits, kind of, all the kind of associated to us on some level. But everybody remembers that Busy Bone got busy during the last verses. And he explained it. And I thought his comment was so perfect. I think I saw him in a lot of places, but I saw this on TMZ, which stands for 10 Mile Zone, because there's a 10-mile strip where all the activity happens. That's what TMZ stands for, just so you know. Little tidbit there. You might win a trivia question or something off of that. And when you do, make sure I get my piece. I take in 20%. Off top, you're only getting 80. Use my flows and ideas, 20% come back to me. All right. Contracts inherently a part of you being here. You know what I'm saying? Just you being here, you're under contract, just so you know. But anyway, so we all saw what happened with Busy Bone. And he said his quote was he said, it's hip hop. That's what his quote was. It's hip hop. And I didn't know as a member of the hip hop generation, I don't say no damn Generation X, I'm hip hop generation. I don't know how I feel about that. On some levels, I'm like, well, maybe he's right. You know what I'm saying? The legacy of rap battling, that's just men though. I don't know if it's hip hop. That's just men. You get a bunch of men in a room and they competing. Somebody's going to get pushed. Some tempers are going to flare. I don't like the way he look at me. I don't like the way he look at him. He looked at me. Egos are going to get involved. Elbows are going to be thrown. Blows might be thrown. If you put 10 men in a room with a ping pong table and none of them play ping pong, and you say, hey, look, play ping pong so we can see who the best is, somebody's going to get hit. That's just how way men are. Gladys writes, 20%. Make that money, Nate. You already know it. You already know it. 20% off top. Off top. If you put 10 men in a room with a video game and you said, look, we want to, y'all create some kind of tournament and so only one can win, right? Before the end of that tournament, mofos coming to blows over Madden. You already know that. And I don't care what age they are. That's just a man thing. He put it on hip hop, I guess. Biz Smart is a Virgo, and he said what he said. But it's being reported now that at some point, Bone Thugs and Harmony was homeless. Did you know that? Bone Thugs and Harmony, which is such a great name, was homeless. I know they made a lot of money for people, didn't they? They made a lot of money. Lazy Bone did an interview recently in which he talked about that at some point they was homeless. And I'm like, damn. That music game must be something else, boy. Whew. They must be eating them up and chewing them out. Eating them up, chewing them up and spitting them out, shall I say. What'd I just say? Disregard what I just said. I don't know what I just said. I might have just said something subtly inappropriate, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We passed 8:30. All the good kids are in school right now. All the bad kids are at home listening to the Nathan Ivey Show because you got suspended. It's your bad ass. If you're a minor, you can hear my voice, unless maybe you had like an early dentist or doctor's appointment, then I give you pass. But if you can hear my voice and you're a minor, why are you not at school? Take your ass to school. Go to school. Bone Thugs and Harmony was homeless for a while. Damn, that's messed up. I would have thought they made a bunch of money, man. They had some hits. That music game is such a just dog-eat-dog world. It is, man. Seems like you can't get ahead unless you're going to get ahead off the back of somebody else's creativity. I mean, very unfortunate, but that's what it appears to be. Again, 513-873-7134. Joe Dieter's overcharge. But if you remember, you have members of, like, I remember Bishop Bobby Hilton was working with the family, and he was pushing for, like, the maximum charges. But then people who had, let's say, a different viewpoint were like, nah, don't overcharge. That was a big conversation in some levels during that whole Ray Tensing thing, because the charge is everything. You overcharge somebody, it's like clearly you can't make the case. And some have suggested that that's the reason why prosecutors like Joe Dieters actually do that. And then because they don't really want to find anybody guilty, right? Some might argue that. Ron P. writes, Bone sold over 10 million records. Go figure. I think what happens, man, and Carla coming straight to you, and that's the reason why I love the world that we live in now. If you're a creative person, you can do your own thing these days. You can do your own things these days and reap more of the benefits if you actually reach the promised land than before. Everything's changed. Like radio has changed. It used to be if you wanted to be in radio, you had to go to a terrestrial radio station. If you wanted to work in radio, you work for somebody else. These days, now people doing podcasts, doing their own things, never even worked in broadcasting. You don't have to. Now, I would argue that you have a huge advantage, right, in terms of experience and knowledge that you bring to the table if you were in that world, as I do. But you don't have to do it. And the same thing with the music industry, man. I mean, you got people that's been found like on Instagram, on SoundCloud. Big time stars now. Same thing with any kind of creative. I mean, the world is so different. So maybe it was that contract. Because I can see you being real thirsty. You know, you up in Cleveland, you ain't got no money. You got a chance to make it in the music industry. They put a contract in front of you. Psh, I'm gonna sign that. I'm getting 100K right now. Like in a few days, you're gonna give me a cash 100,000, a check for 100,000. Shit, I'm gonna sign that. And then what you realize, you become big and you get taken advantage of. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nate. This is Brian.
Hey, what up, Brian? Good morning to you.
Hey, what's happening? I just wanted to say something real quick before I get into my main point about Bones, because, to me, the lifestyle is taxing. And I think, on one hand, you got the whole contract situation that you brought up. But on the other hand, when you get money and you live in large without a perspective on managing the future or thinking that money is going to keep flowing and then it doesn't, that's also part of the scenario. This happens to pro athletes. This happens to many people who find themselves suddenly in the money and, don't have a plan to maintain and invest it. I think that happens to a lot of people who run into money, and that's not just athletes and performers. I mean, this happens with people who, small time win the lottery. I think that Nathan, I think people who, made a small little fortune and then just blew it, because they don't have a real plan. And we're not really taught to have a plan. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. The thing I want to spend the most time on, I'm going to be brief because I don't want to keep you too past over your, how long you plan on flowing a day, is I think that, what the people who are oppressing us fear the most is the reunification of the people that they enslaved, the indentured servants of that time, and the original tenants of this land. That's what they fear the most. America, imperialism, and white supremacy, which is much bigger than just black and white, is the engine that has murdered more people around the globe than in any other country. America with more per capita people in jail by a landslide than any other country. America, whose people have fought to advance women's liberation further than any other country, but has the most reactionary attacks on women relative to other countries, based on how far ahead we've gotten. This is America. The nature of this government is to lie and cover up the truth. America will never be anything but racialized so long as Black people are not made whole. And they can't make us whole without destroying their economic house of cards. That's the problem for them. The reason other groupings seem to rise past us in rights, because you got people who say, they like this group more than that group, or they like Latinos more than Black people, blah, blah. The reason other groupings seem to rise past us and do rise past us in certain aspects of rights is because, in my opinion, the entire underpinning of America is based on the super exploitation of us above all. This system literally cannot work without a super exploited underclass. And major members of the capitalist class of this country would have to go under through some sort of expropriation to repair what they have done to us. And that's the underlying reason why, short of a major change in the economic and social structure of this country, racism will continue. They literally needed to exist as they currently exist. All this coming back to the point. To put down slaves, they deputized and forcibly conscripted folks to catch and repress slaves. They also had a similar approach in the initial period before they divided Black and white people in bondage and convinced enough of a layer of white folks that they're slightly better slaves than Black slaves. This is the modern iteration of this. The things that we're seeing with deputizing. They're not directly doing it, but they're indirectly this strain of ultra right-wing forces who are direct descendants politically of slave owners and those people who crushed radical Reconstruction, those people that TNT mentioned. This is the modern reiteration of a deputization of people to try to maintain and drive back, relations and advances that brown people and others have made in this country. And that's why they need to keep the rhetoric going that you mentioned, fear and so on and so forth, to keep us divided. And they called slaves lazy. They call Latinos who immigrate here lazy. They call Black people violent. But who has the record in these categories? They call slaves lazy. That in and of itself is beyond the pale. We don't own any massive military that's gone around the world destroying countries for land and profit. We haven't. That's not our record. So I just throw that stuff out there, man. And it's the idea that there's a post-racial America. It would be laughable for anybody who seriously believes that. We continue to be in this fight, and while some people run around, claiming that the things that I talk about when it comes to self-defense or violence, history will show that it was after world wars where Black people got a taste of A, what freedom is like, and B, what self-defense is like, that they came back to the United States seeing more clearly what's really in front of us and what will really be necessary for our liberation. I never run around talking about we need to turn over garbage cans or throw garbage cans at Starbucks buildings. That's ridiculous. That's what so-called professional activists do. That's what people who don't understand the true history of liberation do. I was in a war. And I'll just say this, Nate. If you don't understand the difference between conscious, confident self-defense and being unwilling to accept a situation where we're under violent attack as a people and taking measures to rectify that. If that's not you, if that's not where you're at, I'm not going to criticize you, but I'm going to say Sojourner would have had to leave you behind. And that's all there is to it. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And if people don't feel that or understand that, there's still room to grow. All right, man, I'm out.
Thank you so much, Brent. I had to do at least once a show, but I was just dropping some flows about his call. He said a lot, but to sum it up, I mean, on some levels, that the system don't work without a class of people that are exploited. I think that if people try to argue against that, they would find it difficult. That's what I think. Good morning to you. Good morning. More of your comments. Jack writes, this drop guy calls people hoes and punks, then laughs. So people don't come back swinging, moving like a real sucker. Jenny writes, people love them some Thomas Massey in Northern Kentucky, him and Trump. I would imagine. Playing directly to his base. I get it. Crystal writes, he just wants to be heard and accepted. Let's not run him away. You talking about Drop? Oh, Drop is definitely accepted here, man. Everybody loves Drop. I told you I was going to trigger the overseer. You know, one thing, I don't know Drop super well like that, but I know him well enough to know that his skin is super thick. He might have the thickest skin in a chop shop, quite honestly, to be real with you. You know, Drop is it. When people call in and talk about Drop, trust me, he is laughing his ass off. He loves it. He loves it. And I hope his podcast takes off. Hope it's super big. Because perhaps he's saying something that people need to hear. Perhaps so. You know what I'm saying? I'm down with that. Again, good morning to you. Drop his family. That's crazy. Drop his family. That crazy family member. Deborah writes, I don't like listening to Drop at all. I like listening to Drop. I love his calls, actually. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And believe me, there's a lot of people that think just like Drop, black and white. Black and white. So someone brought this up, and I had planned to talk about it anyway because the issues that are going on with our white family members here in America are very, very deep. And don't just think these are backwater bubbas. This ain't the good old boys trolling through the hills with their bare feet. These ain't the good old boys, right? This is on multiple levels, including law enforcement and the military. A former DC guard official is accusing Army generals of lying to Congress about the January 6th response. In a 36-page memo, and I will not lie to you and tell you I read every bit of it because I have not, Colonel Earl Matthews called the generals, quote unquote, absolute and unmitigated liars for how they characterized the January 6th events. He said they lied under congressional testimony. He wrote this memo to a House committee investigating the attack. General Charles Flynn, brother of that Flynn, remember the guy that was a traitor? He was supposed to be the national security advisor, right? That's what Trump wanted him to do, but General Flynn literally was a double agent, literally. Trump, Mr. I know how to hire the best people, selected a double agent to be the national security advisor. The man ended up lying to the FBI, which is a felony. He was found guilty. And then I think that he was given a pardon by Trump, right? Trump was a straight up crime boss. He was a straight up crime boss. And maybe all of them are. I don't know. He comes across far more crimey and grimy to me than Obama ever did. And it has nothing to do with skin color at all. But Trump came across way more crimey, I'm making a new word, and grimy, way more crimey and grimy than Barack Obama ever came across. You know Michelle wasn't going for that. You know Michelle wasn't going to let Obama do nothing too crimey and grimy. You know that. But Trump was all about the crime. If it benefited him on any levels, he was about that life. And now we understand why there was not such a defense, a good enough a defense put up. Now we understand, because like, listen, I'm on Facebook way in Cincinnati, and we were talking about it. I remember posting like a real quickly made flyer that somebody posted about, and then posting news links from journalists across the blogosphere, right, about the fact that they were talking about doing something crazy on January 6th. Everybody knew it. It was all over Facebook. It was everywhere. Everyone knew it, except the FBI and the military. But now we know they did know about it, but on two levels, right? At the local level, in terms of the FBI office, they had a debate inside the office about what the response should be. And from what has been reported now and is yet to be refuted, is that there were people in the FBI, some of these same people that's running around here trying to find guns on NBA YoungBoy, the motherfucking hip hop police, right? Run around chasing these hip hop artists because they might spark a movement. Some of these same folks was arguing that the good law-abiding white folks that's Trump lovers, they love law enforcement. They would never do anything like that to harm a police officer. Like literally, this is the conversation that we now know that was taking place in the FBI about the advanced information they got about the January 6th insurrectionists. And everybody knew that these folks was nuts. Everybody knew that was in their bag. Everyone knew it, except a significant portion of the FBI. Meanwhile, these mofos got a legacy of surveilling hip-hop artists and social activists. They can spare no expense, right, to follow war protesters around. They got no expense for that. But y'all asleep at the wheel when the Trump supporters told you what they were going to do. They had all the information, folks. They knew everything. It has now been revealed they knew everything. They saw all the Facebook posts. They even saw some stuff that we didn't even see on Facebook about how they was bringing bombs and ammunition and weapons. But let's just wait and see. When Black Lives Matter walked through Washington, them mofos, they had like officers spaced, military style, 3 feet away, just standing there, just ready to go with full riot gear, just waiting. Just waiting. That's wild, man. We living in crazy times. We living in crazy times, very crazy times. But somebody needs to say this, and I say this out of love. I really do, because white or black, we all Americans. We all live in the same space. If one is winning, the other has to win as well. Right? If we all lose, we got one shot on this Garden of Eden, man. Let's make it the best we can possibly make it. I don't know. But again, I think the reason why on some levels, the reason why we overanalyze the black family and we don't analyze the white family is because there's an energy from within the black community to analyze the black family, right? With some of these preachers, that's what they do every Sunday. They're analyzing us. And then I think just because of the uniqueness of our situation here, there's more of a feeling of togetherness or unity and connection. So when something happens and it has nothing to do with your family per se, people look at it as a part of the black family. Like, I get that. I'll go ahead and put that out there. I get that 100%. I understand it. Maybe it comes from a good place. Maybe so. Maybe so. Or maybe not. It's racism, dog. It's racism, right? Ray writes, black people are not human to them. Everything have been set up, hill battle. Stick together, people, yet black people got to go, even family members. Brent writes, is Uncle Charlie Winburn analyzing us too? At least give him some hot wings first. See, you wrong for that. I don't know what you mean by any of that, Brent. Some hot wings. Did he have an event or something like that? He'll never live that down, will he? In the minds of some people, he'll never live that down. I'll tell you one thing about Charlie Winburn. He supports independent media. He 100% supports what we do here on this show and our network as we grow out. So I'll say that about him. You know that. I'll rock with the people that rock with me. I keep telling you. Keep telling you that. Jericho writes, hey, my Ratchet TV watchers, you have to watch Peter Guns as a host on Cheaters. Look for the one with the black guy with locks being cheated on by his girlfriend. Hilarious. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I did see a little bit of chatter, and I do know that Peter Guns people like the job he's doing. I seen one clip where it was a black dude, his wife or girlfriend was cheating on him, and then he got mad and was going to turn on Peter, and Peter was like, they don't call me Peter Guns for nothing. He's like, we can square up right now, homie. Don't do that. I saw that. But you're saying it's hilarious, huh? Where can I watch that? Where do you watch it, Jericho? Cheaters was a great show. That was such a good show, man. Oh, my God. Because I think everybody has either been cheated on or has cheated before. That's my theory. Everybody has either been cheated on or has cheated before. So when you got a show called Cheaters, it's going to grab you. I remember when she did me like that, right? F him. He did me like that, right? I get it. Every Saturday morning, where? What channel? What channel? I want to check it out. I literally don't know. Every Car Miar one writes on VH1. Oh, okay, on VH1. Okay, I'll check it out. I got VH1 on my Fire Stick. I just don't be watching it. I saw that one, Nate. He was trying to fight Peter Guns. Definitely a sucker. Listen. When men cheat is not the same as when women cheat, and it'll never be the same. It is not the same. It is not the same. Women are innies, men are outies. Okay? So one person is putting something inside the other person. It is not the same. And don't act like it is. The role that men and women play in our society is different. We're different. It's not the same. So a man has every right to get into his feelings. Now, as Michael Baisden said, men cry in the dark. Black men cry in the dark. There's some things that you should cry in the dark about, and that's one of them. But give that brother some space. I can see. Okay, but fight your woman's man, not the one who helped you find out that she had one. But Peter Guns might have been he might have said some F shit. You know what I'm saying? I've watched the show before. He be saying some slick shit, right? You know, dudes in their feelings, and he's saying a little funny stuff. So maybe he said something funny, dude didn't appreciate it. Jesse writes, I agree, Nathan. No, it's not the same. Women like to say it's the same as a man cheat. It's not the same. It is not the same. Janice writes, once President Obama was elected, the onslaught began. America cannot have the image of Black Americans, men in particular, seen as positive. That's why words and images are so important and powerful. Carmel writes, he said, I want all the smoke. I live okay. He did say something like that, right? Dude's like, you don't want this smoke? He's like, no, I want all the smoke. So now he's about to get beat up by the host. Jericho writes, Peter was instigating it. He told dude his girl was in a dick coma. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Good morning to you. Where's the show going? I don't know. Cincy Tigers writes, well, she was she? Oh, boy. Yeah, so he had every right to be in his feelings. Every right. Charles writes that Mamba mentality ran wild in Colorado some years back. Yes, it did. It's not funny. It's not funny, man. And this culture let Kobe get away with that, man. How you gonna talk about Mamba mentality after you sexually abuse a woman? Force her to do something you want her to do. Oh, that is too irreverent. That is too irreverent, man. I'm here for it, though. Wow. Jesse writes, get that money, Stevie. Get that money, Stevie. Get that money. I'm talking about Stevie J. Get that money from Faith Evans. Because it was wrong what she did to Biggie. You know, damn well. Now what kind of woman gonna sleep with a man's rival? That's your man's rival. Every man has had a rival. Every man has had a rival. Could have been a basketball rival. It could just be some Negro you don't like. I don't like him, so you can't like him either. Now, how you gonna sleep with Tupac and you Biggie's girl? That's why allegedly she did it. I watched Jewel, and she is something else. My type. Y'all seen Jewel with these Art of Dialogue interviews on YouTube? You should watch her. She was somebody in the whole Death Row family. And she played a much more prominent role, and she is mad. She mad because Suge did not release her album. She did not get the pay. She did not get paid the way she thought she was supposed to get paid per her talents. She is, Crystal writes, it was Tupac. Men gonna be men. And that's why I say is a man and a woman is different. When a woman cheats, it's different than when a man cheats. It's far worse when a woman cheats than when a man cheats, period. No doubt about it. Because men are outies and women are innies. Let's keep it real simple. Okay. And then the nature of some men is they're gonna take any opportunity they get. That's not the nature of most women. So stop it. Stop lying to yourselves. Nakia writes, no. Crystal writes, Stevie J is the epitome of a dog-ass dog. See how we disrespect black men? Nat writes, get your paper, player. Equal rights. Exactly. Equal rights. Y'all want equal rights? You got equal rights. Obi gets a bag from her. Brent writes, don't blame Stevie J. Faith should have had him sign a prenup. It's funny how when the shoes on the other foot, folks have amnesia. Correctamundo. Way to get to the choppers, Brent. Way to get to the choppers. TNT writes, hashtag women don't cheat. That's a damn lie. That ain't true. That is not true. Crystal writes, yeah, you say cheating isn't equal. The roles that men, we'll have to talk about this one day, but the roles that men and women play sexually are not the same. And nobody can argue that it is the same. Please stop it. I'm not here for that. Jerica writes, Biggie and Faith weren't married when she slept with Tupac. If you're not married, it doesn't matter, right, Nate? You're right about that. You're right. You're right. So technically, it's not cheating. You're right. I stand correct, and thank you. I know you always here to correct me, damn Jerica. God damn it! Can I live? Damn it, Jerica. Can I live, please, sis? Just for a little bit. But you are correct. God damn it. Hate it when she right. Anybody can be right in here but Jerica. When Jerica is right, it just does something to me. I'll be honest with you, it does. I hate it when she make a point. I'm going to go ahead and admit it. God damn you. Can't say nothing. So yes, sis, you're right. I'm trying to make whole points here and everything. Can I flow, please? God damn, these flows need a little bit of air to really take fire. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany writes, OMG, how does your wife put up with your way of thinking? I'm sure after all these years, she has learned to block out the nonsense. You're probably right about that. You're right about that. You're right. She has learned to block. You do that, vice versa. You just block out some stuff. Your whole any and outie logic says that cheating is not the same. Hashtag women don't cheat. Nakia writes, she got you again. Again? I don't remember the first time. And she never gets me. I'm always here to be corrected by my folks. Always. I'm just having some fun with Jerica because she be listening like, this is Jerica listening. She be double checking. Come on, Nathan, say it all before I hit you with that hotness. This is my impersonation of Jerica when she's listening to the show. Just like, no. On January 16th, he said, just waiting for me to make a mistake, right? Crystal writes, male choppers and their logic. Nat writes, they don't forget Ish, Nate. Jerica don't forget a damn thing. Well, listen. Back in December 17th of 2019, you said, and the show title and the cover art was, I'm like, God damn. Oh my God. So you done messed up that flow there. Not really. Not really. Just having some fun with you, Jerica. That's my sis right there. She gonna hold me accountable. I was just talking to somebody. She was like, what's the sis name? She be on you. I was like, Jerica's like, yeah, that's her. I shouldn't tell you that because all it's gonna do is enable your ass. And I don't want to enable any more of this kind of behavior. None more of it. Crystal writes, oh, she's gotten you before. Need receipts? Question marks, LOL. Yeah, I do. Send me the receipts because I don't remember it. Give you an inch, you're going to take a mile, huh? Give him an inch, they take a mile. God damn it. Give you an inch. How dare you remember things that Nathan said in the past? He is going to call you out for bringing you up. Wait. He is going to call you out for bringing up old Ish. That's right. Like, how dare you bring up old Ish and make a point? Who you think you are? In here making points. Crystal writes, I have them, Virgo. You know this. Damn, you too, Crystal. Like, wait a minute. What's this Negro say? Let's cross-reference. Nah, bruh. You said a Virgo will do that, though. A Virgo will have a whole journal on your ass and won't say anything like, oh, really? Mental note. Got to transcribe just before I go to bed tonight. And then at the right time, put out. How you like me now? All of the evidence. All of the evidence. All of the evidence. I have them, Virgo, you know. Damn, that's ominous. Whoo, that is a threat right there. I have them, Virgo. You know this. I am scared. Woo. Damn, I'm like, wait a minute. What did I do? According to Kevin Samuels, men don't cheat. They are just exercising their options. Brent's out. He writes, have a good day, choppers. Have a good day. Hey, listen, have an excellent day, family. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. We'll pick this back up, I'm sure, on future shows, future flows. Have an excellent rest of your Tuesday. And I plan to be back and hopefully better than ever with you tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. Talk about anything that's relevant to our community here in the city of Cincinnati and beyond. Again, hit me with a like and a share, maybe on your page. Maybe I'm page worthy this morning. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. And remember our motto. Let's say it together. Winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving, don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get on my gut, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, all them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. The disgusting, I hear them bragging about that they did and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you all my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'ma spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the skies the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no